Hello again, whiskey friends. Welcome back to the Whiskey Riff Lounge. My name is Kelsey. Tonight we're going to be doing some Stagg reviews. So we are going to be doing Stagg Jr., not Junior, 23C versus 24A. That's right. The A batch is released here. I can't wait to get it in to this with you guys and see how it pans out. Let's check it out. All right, welcome back, guys. So I'm super excited because you guys know this is one of my favorite releases every year to kind of keep tabs on. I think behind me I have every batch from 12 through current. So I like to compare these a lot of the times to see how it's progressing. Is it getting better? Is it getting worse? Does it taste similar to similar batches before? Let's get into it. So we're going to be doing 23C versus 24A. Now, I did go ahead and score this one, but I didn't put up slides because they scored the exact same. So we'll get into that in just a minute, but let's go ahead and jump into the nose. If you guys are new to the channel, make sure you hit like and subscribe. And guys, put your favorite batch down below in the comments and let me know what's your favorite Stagg Jr. batch that you had that stick out to you. I know a few of mine, and I'll get into that as I taste through these, but cheers, whiskey friends. So this is the 23C. So again, it's typical for Stagg. You get a little bit of cherry note up front, but more vanillas and brown sugars than that typical, Stagg cherry note or grape. Sometimes I get grape. But overall on the nose, it's super similar to some of the other batches that I've tasted, but nothing is just like standing out. It's well balanced. I will say that the nose is well balanced. You get a little bit more of the wood influence the longer this sits. This has only been sitting for a few minutes, but some of the oak is really starting to come in there. It's that sweet oak that I love from Buffalo Trace. It is a little bit thin on the nose, if that makes sense. Like, it doesn't come across as going to be very viscous on the nose. Sometimes I can tell if it's really oily or not, but it does seem a little bit thinner. I am getting some of the younger notes coming out of the oak. It reminds me of pencil shavings. That's why I would say that for you guys that knows things and get certain notes. Whenever I get pencil shavings, it tends to be a little bit of a younger whiskey. But overall, very, very good. Let's get into the palate of this one. Okay, super sweet up front. I mean, vanilla, brown sugar, cherry. That cherry comes through even more on the front of the palate. Mid palate, you get more of that oak coming through. I don't get a ton of rye spice. I don't get a lot of grape or fruit notes on this one. It falls off pretty much right after mid palate, even though it's at 125.9 is the proof point of this particular batch, which is the 23C. We'll get into the other proof in just a minute. Yeah, I'm kind of disappointed on the finish on this one. I know Buffalo Trace products, though, kind of fall off when it comes to the finish. There's been very few and far between that I can remember that just had and a crazy good finish. 22A was one. Of course, my favorite batch, 12, was one. This one kind of is middle of the road as far as the finish goes. Let's go in for a second sip just to see consistency. Pretty consistent. It kind of, even on second sip, it's already kind of mellowed out a whole bunch. The rye comes in a little bit more on the second sip, but it is very little. I mean, compared to some of the other bourbons at that proof point. Just a teeny tiny bit in the middle of your tongue. So let's move on. Not as impressed with that one as I thought I would be. But here's the 24A. So this is the newest batch that they've released so far. I haven't seen any reviews on this one yet, so hopefully you guys are enjoying this. Okay, this one's even more vanilla forward on the nose, like vanilla frosting on the nose. Now behind that is some of the sweet oak and your typical sweetened cherry notes that you would get on Buffalo Trace. But overall, like the first part of that was, yeah, it's just like a sweet vanilla cream on the nose. I'm digging this a lot more than the other one on the nose. So between these two, definitely this has the better nose. Let's get into the palate. Cheers. Okay. Man, that's a letdown. Wow. Okay. Really dig the nose on this one. This has a better palate. This one is real. I don't know. Let me take another sip. Hold on. So the proof on this one was 127.6. Now this one does have a little bit more heat to it, a little bit more rye spice. I like that a little bit better, but man, I wish all of those vanilla notes would have stayed on the palate that I had on the nose. Finishes a lot longer. So I will say mid palate and finish go to the 24A. The front of the palate goes to 23C, and the nose goes to 24A. Just a quick review, guys. I just wanted to kind of get into some of these batches as we go through them. Man, I'm really disappointed about the vanilla not being there. One last sip of each, and then we'll go for the final review. Okay. Okay. So, yeah, my initial impressions were pretty much spot on. Nose goes to 24C or 24A. Front of the palate goes to 23C. The mid palate and finish definitely go to 24A. They're still way different from each other. I will say that I actually preferred 24A over 23C, ultimately due to the mid palate and the finish. These did score identical. They both scored 85, which is a great score. Both great whiskeys. But for me, there's also a tannin note on 24A that I tasted when I first cracked it, and it was kind of a bitter note. It's gone down a whole lot since I've gotten more air. These typically tend to get sweeter with more air time, so I'm hoping that this 24A will actually open up a little bit more. The 23C is everything that you would kind of hope for a Stagg, except it doesn't have a mid palate and a finish. It has all the sweet up front. The 24A really has the finish and mid palate that I wish the 23C had. So just a quick review, everybody. If you're looking to get this particular one and you want to know how it compares, I think this leans more towards like 23A than B or C as far as the profile. Now, remember 23A being a little bit sweeter up front, but actually having a more of a balanced approach as it got through the whole whiskey. Whereas 24A, the oak is still there a lot more, and the rye spice is there, so you get sweet and spicy, which I like. But I just wish that it had those vanilla notes on the palate. Yeah, it's gone even more towards the oak. The more air it's gotten, those vanilla notes have kind of dissipated a little bit. But it is a more rich nose than it was when I first tasted it. So, is it worth the buy? If you can get it for under $100, 100%. I got mine for $69. For some reason, I'm able to get these batches pretty regularly. I think I'm only missing one batch from 12 through current. So I think that was 22A or B. I don't remember which one it was. I think it was B that I didn't get. But I will say definitely worth the price on $100. I mean, you're not going to be disappointed. You know, everybody kind of oohs and ahs over these for $300 or $400. Definitely not worth that. Max I would pay is $150. I'd even be stretching it to do that. $125 would probably be where I would stop hunting over that price. But like I said, it's just depending on your budget, how much you want it, all of those things. The great thing about this particular whiskey is that I've got a bunch of it and I can share a bunch of it. So there's been a lot of people been able to share these with. So cheers to you guys who've gotten some of these samples. Make sure you guys check us out every Wednesday night at 9 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Central. And we look forward to seeing you there. Make sure you hit like and subscribe. And be sure to put those in the comments of what batch is your favorite Stagg Jr. We'll see you next time.
Jeff, just be friends with me. But you have these whiskey friends, and you say hello again. Oh, Jeffrey, you should just be friends with me. But you have these whiskey friends, and you say hello again. Oh, Jeffrey, you should just be friends with me.